And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
And it left the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the show. We have Noah Smith on today. Now, we recorded this episode weeks ago, and I apologize for the delay, Noah. A lot of the show stuff that he talked about of shows he's playing, shows he's done, have already come and passed. So just kind of ignore those little tidbits. But the essence of this conversation is pure Boots and Whiskey Podcast, like through and through. We had such a great time shooting the shit. Noah has been on the show before. And this time we really got into a lot of things. So I hope you enjoy the conversation. Sit back, relax, enjoy. We have a double shot today. We're doing this one, and then we have Austin Brown also came out today. So go check that out after this one. But this is a conversation that is pure Boots and Whiskey. This is exactly what this, I say it a lot, right? And I say it because I never know, right? And we talk about this a lot on this show, where I never know what the conversation is gonna be, right? We do that on purpose because I think it's just a better show all around. But this was a one that, we have those moments where everything's just clicking on all cylinders, and this one just clicked on all cylinders. So thank you, Noah, for the conversation. I hope you guys enjoy, and here it is, Noah Smith. Cheers. I was thinking about it on my way home from work, and it's been a while since we talked to you last.
Yeah, man. I've looked back on our Instagram, we chatted there for a little while, and then it's been a longer than I'd like to admit, for sure.
Yeah, I think, I was thinking about it today, and when we were talking about doing this the first time, I was driving around in my car doing DoorDash at the time just to get some extra money.
Yeah.
And we were early on in this. That might have been year 2.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, man, I'll be honest with you. I went back and I was stoked to, reconnect, and I knew I've seen your guys' stuff around, but I looked at your Instagram and I was like, man, they've been this thing's on a whole other level. And I think the last time we talked, you guys were definitely starting to tap into this is real, you started. Yeah.
Legit. And, it's gotten to the point where I'm sure as right, you've been doing this a long time too, where it's you get to a point where it just grooves, right? You still have to work at it. You still have to do everything, but it almost runs itself, especially in this industry.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's a goal for all of us, right?
Yeah.
No, there's definitely levels of that. I've talked to even recently. It just depends on where you want to go with it. But I was actually joking around with somebody today. If you quit, and this wasn't even about music, but if I just quit music and was I never want to play again, phone calls and emails are still going to come in for years because you've been out digging this thing and working on it for you've been building this thing, and it's touched so many people. We were talking about, there was somebody, we were just kind of talking about their life and where it was headed, and my life, where it was headed. And I was like, yeah, what does that look? What would that even look like?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like. I hope I don't find out what that looks like. I'm not going away.
Right. And it's funny because we, for a while there, for us on our side, we kind of just, I don't want to say we mailed it in, right? But it was the same thing over and over and over and over again. And being a New Englander, I've got a little bit of an attitude from just living here my entire life. And, I've gone through some shit over the last few years. And I was just you know what? I'm all done kind of kissing people's ass.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to be the squeaky, oh, this song from, Luke Combs or whomever, right, is the greatest thing since the last thing they put out. Like if it sucks, I'm going to tell you, you know?
Right.
And like, you know, when we changed that up in like October of last year, and like since doing that and since putting a little more of an edge on a lot of things, it's funny how much more traction we've gotten.
Right. Yeah, good for you guys, man. For you kind of found your voice, you know? That's great.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
This is year 5.
Awesome. I had a podcast at one point, and I literally just started recording a couple episodes of it again. So it was called The Long Cut, the Long Cut podcast. And I was having guests on and other musicians, and like we were really into it. And we did like 30 something episodes. But just the other night, I got on my Patreon. I threw this mic up, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just talk for an hour and then share that as like an episode. And man, I miss doing these. Like I absolutely love like having like one of my favorite parts of playing music is like hanging out at the merch table afterwards, talking to everybody. And podcasts are like little sneaky ways to do that, you know.
It really no. So what made you stop doing it? Was it time? Was it, you know, what was it?
Man, I definitely live by like I keep the main thing, you know. It's a great Brendan Burchard quote, or just in general, like keep the main thing. And like but it shifts for me. Like during COVID, like I started doing, so The Long Cut was a name of one of my records that I released in 2018 when we were like out on the road like crazy, just grinding 100 miles per hour every day of the week, just trying to get people to pay attention to this thing, you know. And so The Long Cut kind of came of my way of like, you know, I didn't become a rock star when I was 19, but like this is the now we're in the middle of my 20s and, you know, late 20s, and what does that look like? And just that kind of way of like, hey, if we show up on time, if we make great music, if we have good integrity about what we do, like sidewalk to the stage, eventually this works out, you know. And it doesn't, it might not be exactly how you envision it. And it's kind of crazy hearing you talk about your experience with the podcast, because I'm definitely feeling that way in life, like just making music that I want to make. And part of what I love to make is stuff that like I always joke around, like I don't love making music. I love like making moments I love being in rooms with people making music. And my record, like my last record I put out, since we've talked, actually, I think the last time, Cavaliers in the Cadillacs, it was like me and my band in a room live. We recorded it and we released it. And like, honestly, it's my favorite record that I've ever put out. And you kind of start, like you said, like, I don't know if it's just giving it the middle finger, but you definitely start ignoring some of the noise and like, I'm going to do this either way, you know? So, but the podcast, I stopped doing it was like, I had a guy named Chris Riva. He's on the news, and he was a newscaster. He worked for he did some stuff with the Olympics for a while, and he reached out to me. It was like right when everybody started going, podcasts have been around for a long time, but now we all need to do one. This was like years. And what's crazy is that concept hasn't went away. And that was like the other day where I was like, just do it again. But it was just kind of a season of like, man, we were doing it every week and we were building it up, and it takes a lot to schedule and be consistent and stay on it. It's obviously a consistency game, but it's a blast.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to be back here, and congratulations to you guys. Cause I looked at your podcast and I was like, these guys are not joking around. Like I'm on a legit, but like, let's go.
You know, like, you know, I jokingly say that, like, I jokingly tell people that I meet, like, I run a highly successful podcast, right? And like, I like at the end of the day, when I stop, I don't feel that way. You know what I mean? I have imposter syndrome like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
right.
Man. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But like, I know I've worked my ass off to be where I'm at, you know, like,
right.
You know, I've had conversations with artists that if you would have said even a year ago that I'd be having these conversations of having them on, I would have told you you're out of your goddamn mind.
Right. Man, it reminds me of a great quote that I like. It's so true, but like, your small steps are somebody else's big dreams. Right. Like, it's a good way for me to remember, like you said, like I know, I mean, I've seen someone looked back at recent episodes like that. Like, there's some people that just want to be on a podcast today, or there's some people that just want to write a song or pick up the guitar, play one show. And and it's just a good reminder of like, for me always, of like, be grateful and be present. And like, today, like this is just another day in our career, and we're moving and we're doing the thing, but like, this is a big deal. We should be present. And so, yeah, it's good to talk to my New England friend. Last time I was talking to you I remember, this is crazy. It was very similar time of year because there was snow on the ground, and I was in my car, like doing an interview. I don't know where I was at. But I remember talking to you, like it was freezing outside.
Yeah, it definitely was this time of year. That is for sure. Yeah,
we're getting a bunch of snow tonight. All the kids are getting off school. They're like, our school's canceled, dude. Oh,
really?
So, yeah.
We actually just got 2 feet like 2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
And it's so still, I mean, obviously it's still here. 2 feet doesn't just go away overnight. Yeah. But it's been frigid. And today it was like,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, today it was 35 and it felt like it was a heat wave.
Yeah. I was going to say, shouts out to much love to all of our Nashville friends, man. They've been, so I live up north. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio is where I live at. And we've got some snow right now, but man, they've got hit hard. Like, I got a lot of friends that still aren't even back in their house. Electric's not on. It's just been a disaster down there for those guys.
It's crazy. And it's funny, right? Like, you grew up in Ohio, right? If I was correct, the last time we talked,
I grew up like, I always say I go far, but I didn't go far. Like I grew up right across the field, basically, from where I'm at. So we're deeply rooted here in Brown County, USA.
And it's funny because it's like you see, you've lived in an area your whole life where there was weather and there was snow and all this stuff, right? And same here. And then you look at other parts of the country, whether it's Nashville, whether it's Texas, that I'm not trying to poo-poo the ice that Nashville got, right? But like, you see Texas gets a coating or an inch and they don't know what to do, right?
Right.
And it's like, it's just so crazy how that works, huh? Like where it's, some regions are just ready for it and some just aren't.
Oh yeah, I was just up in Kohler, Wisconsin for some shows and came into Milwaukee, and they're like, no big deal, and everybody's ice is definitely the great equalizer. Like it's horrible when all that ice really sets on like that for sure.
Yeah. So, since we last talked, I was thinking about the Crooner Circus today, actually, while I was at work. And how is that going? Is that still going? That's still going strong? And
yeah, I just realized I have the hat on here. So I was always that thing of like, I don't ever wear my own merch or whatever, because it wasn't cool, and now people do. I'm like, but when I came up, it wasn't cool to wear your own merch, but this is like, I can wear my own brand now, because yeah, man, Crooner Circus is definitely alive and well. Like it's turned into a really special thing in Cincinnati. And it's every third Thursday of the month, and we've moved it to the Southgate House Revival, which is like my home venue that I absolutely love. So we've kind of been growing it. We started in 2018, and man, it's just the community of people around it and what it's became, and now we're taking it on the road and doing some stuff with it. Like I said, I wasn't going to take it serious. Like it's been my other little like escape of like, songs are my life. Like I love songwriting, I love the culture, I love writers rounds, and songs have changed my life. My career doesn't happen without great songs, obviously, but I've really seen it like change the landscape of songwriting. Like there are like, there's a song, there's always music, and there's music, like a great music scene in Cincinnati. Absolutely, I love my city. I think it's great. I live like an hour east of the city, but that's where I'm from. But it's really changed the landscape. Like there's definitely like a songwriting culture now. Like I'm seeing other songwriter rounds pop up, which like I got to be careful to not get grumpy about, because it's like, well, this was the point, like to curate this and build it. And the other thing that's crazy that I'm starting to see is there's co-writing. Like in Nashville's obviously a huge part of just everybody in a room writing songs together. And Cincinnati's kind of like a garage band town where like you grow up in a band and that's how you play music and you just write by yourself. And now Crooner Circus is definitely like people are starting to write together and have co-writes. We've done some retreats, and like I'm seeing people actually get songs cut on each other's records, which like for the last 20 years of my life, I've never seen that. And now it's happening. It's like a little fragrance of like some Nashville, LA movement happening. And I'm really excited about it, what is happening. So I'm super grateful to be a part of it. And I said I wasn't going to take it serious, but now I'm making merch. So it's
right. I get that, but like for when you started that to where it is now, right? Like, I have seen some of the posters where like some of the people that are on there, it's like, if you're in the industry and you pay attention and you're in the know, like you're getting some heavy hitters.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited kind of what this next season looks like. I mean, we've had a few hundred people play the show, and it's cool now to see some cats that are like definitely blowing up that have played the show. And somebody told me at a venue, they were like, "Noah, do you know that people are actually putting like Crooner Circus on their booking resume? Like if they're showing their like if they're trying to get on a show." And I was like, "What? Like that's crazy to me." I mean, it's like shouts out, man. It's no secret that like the guys probably that involved with Revival 615 in Nashville. Used to be at Tin Roof on the Mumbrian, Channing Wilson, Rob Snyder. There's just a whole crew of people around that. Like, that's where I really learned what songwriting rounds were about. And the first time I ever went there was just like, man, like Luke Holmes was a big part of that early on, and Brent Cobb, and just a bunch of cats. I could keep going on and on, but like, I was in that room for the first time and I was like, man, these people love songs as much as I do. And somebody told me, they're like, go to that round and go there every Tuesday when you're in Nashville. And that's where I would go for years. It was just every Tuesday. I'd drive down Monday through Wednesday and I'd be there. And like Crooner Circus has become that version of what Revival was to me. Crooner has become to other people in Cincinnati, and it's just blowing my mind. But yeah, I mean, like, Ben Chapman's played it. He's doing crazy, awesome stuff. Been a part of it. Styles Harry. I think you just say Styles Harry. He's an Ohio dude. He's at Country Strong by Luke Bryan, like a couple other big cuts. Dude, Joe Jordan, who's like blowing up everywhere right now. He's played it before. Like, just it's been really special. We've had some people from Denmark be a part of it, and my artist career has been my main thing, but like Crooner Circus is definitely now a part of my story. And it's funny I say that because it's like it's in my booking email, but again, like I kind of wasn't paying attention, and now it's became a thing, and I'm really grateful for it. Like if I was a songwriter around the region, I would be at Crooner Circus once a month. I would put it on my calendar and be there, like, because it's just you meet so many people, and I have a lot of cats who come in like, how do I meet people? It's like, come to Crooner Circus and hang out, because the room is like just always packed full of cats that are doing the thing, and you get to know a lot of people and kind of go to school, Yeah, man, you have to come down sometime, be a part of it. I think we have mutual friends with April Cushman, right? April?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's been a part of it. She's played that show, and it's always need to get April to come back, man. We're doing the festival again this year, and we're also launching. We haven't even told anybody, but I'll just say it. We're actually going to take Crooner Circus to Put-in-Bay, which is like the Key West of the North. We're doing a little takeover of 2 nights of Riders Round. So this was an official announcement, maybe May 8th and 9th. We're doing the Put-in-Bay, Noah Smith's Crooner Circus Put-in-Bay Songwriter Festival. So we're going to go up there for 2 nights and kind of take it over and see what happens.
That's awesome. That's, it's funny you say that, because like I always wanted to do something like that around here.
Yeah.
There's another guy that does kind of something similar to that for the region, and it's great, right? Like he does a good job and all that, but like how do I and this isn't talking shit, right? It's just not the way I would do it. You know what I mean?
Your podcast, man. Yeah.
Right. Trust me. I seem to have gotten in enough trouble today on Instagram, but that's fine. But yeah, like I have a vision of the way I would want it to be done, and make it. I don't want to say make it worthwhile, because I'm sure his is worthwhile. He gets people to go and show up and all that, and that's great. Yeah. It's just not exactly the way I would do it. You know what I mean? Like when you have a vision of something, and even though somebody else is doing it, like you want to do it, but you also don't want to piss somebody, like, you get it, right? You don't want to piss somebody off. You don't want to step on toes. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. But like, in this industry, maybe sometimes you got to.
Yeah, man. I think that happens to a lot of people. There's some stuff, like I was joking about other Riders Rounds coming up. I think this happens a lot with like local music scene, where like everybody's or regionally, whatever. But like, let's say I started a podcast, and then like somebody that's close with me, that's an artist, I don't know. I picked up an expo, like I'm teaching or something. But,
no, it's fine, dude. I got ADHD. I'm touched everything on my desk twice already.
Bro, my son has our middle son. He's got a 3D printer. He started making me. He's making so many cool things. He had like a beginner one, and then he spent like $600, saved up his money, and we let him buy this thing. And he's making I don't know if you can see this, but it looks like a snow, but it's like he made me like a pick holder because he's 3D printing. But he can make all those like fidgety things, and it's pretty cool. But
yeah,
I was saying, like, I think that happens a lot with artists and just, I don't know, whatever. Like, a lot of people are at the same level. They're all afraid to do something. Like, let's say I start a podcast. Well, like, or somebody in like my level of the industry started something. They're like, people are afraid to like do the same thing because it's like, but yet like at the top, right? Like, look how many comedians have a podcast, like all the top ones do. And they're not afraid to like, and even if that's one thing that I learned during COVID, and I'm so grateful, like my Patreon is something I'm very passionate about. Like my fans on there are just like, I love making for them. And I wish I'd have done it years ago because I didn't. Cause I was like, well, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that artist and like, look like I'm, I need their money I'm going to build this thing and it's like, no, man, like just do it. Like get it going and then get it right later. And I almost feel like, I mean, that's where we're at as creatives and musicians. It's like, put that stuff out and then figure the rest out later. And it works for some people to have this very particular thing that they do, but I'm really excited about where I'm at right now to just be able to like make, like, I'm going to drop a ton of music this year. And they're different. And it's like the Springsteen documentary came out and I was like, man, everybody's always kind of, that's like people be like, you're like, you got this Springsteen thing about you because I don't just do one thing. And a lot of people in the industry are like, well, you should niche down and find that one thing and then put out another one that sounds like another. And it works for so many artists. I mean, I just haven't been able to like let myself, it's like the stubborn punk rock dude in me, I guess. It's like, I just like songs and music, and sometimes they're love and songs and sometimes they're heavy. And sometimes it's me and my acoustic guitar. It's like, I just love songs so much, and so it's like throw it out the window and put her out. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it's like I love when artists do that when they try different things, right? And not every album sounds the exact same, right? And like going back to Luke Combs, like I love Luke, don't get me wrong, but like the first 2-3 albums was the same sound, right? And like at that point he had built himself up enough where he could take a risk, right? Where, maybe somebody else wouldn't be able to. And another perfect example is like Eric Church. Like Eric Church's first 2 albums compared to what he's putting out now is not the same. If you go see Eric Church today and expect the first 2 albums, you're going to be pissed because that's not what you get.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think that is? Like from your seat, I'm curious to ask this because I think I'm consuming enough in it. Why do you think it is that like it's definitely the way the algorithm wants you to be. Like it's like do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and then they'll find a fan. Where it used to be like the VH1 approach of social media, like that. I kind of came up in the first era of that. Of like, I'm going to show myself in the studio. It was like I was showing my daily routine, and now it's like you'll get rewarded if you're doing the same thing because they want to find an audience for you, but yet the real music fans are like, I love it when people do different stuff. So like, why do you think that is that like artists have to do that to like, it's definitely a thing that you should do is like putting out that same sound and that same thing, but real music fans don't really enjoy that.
I think that's exactly it. It's funny you mention this because I had this very same conversation today about Ticketmaster. Same but different, right? Where I think the diehards are always going to show up, right? But the diehards also want you to take a risk, right? Like if I'm a diehard of an artist, right? I want to see something new. I want to see something interesting not all the time, but every now and again, go out on a limb and do something that might push the envelope for your sound. Right. I think the artists that stay in, the quote unquote sound that has gotten them where they are and just stay there, they seem to fizzle out a lot faster, because it's the same sound over, like I can rattle off a dozen, quote unquote country radio artists that sound the same. Right. But are we going to be talking about them in 5-10 years? Probably not.
Right.
Even if they're having their moments right now, they could be having a moment right now where they're, on top of the world. Right. I don't know that lasts very long. I really don't.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting, man. There's this challenge for like, I'll just speak for myself. Like I was raised like very blue collar, literally like my dad dug ditches for a living. We put in water main. I did that for a long time in my life, but it was like, get up and get after it. And I always use the analogy of like, sometimes like I was just raised to work my ass off. That's pretty much it. Like just you work your ass. I don't care what you're doing. Like nobody in my family did music. I have 0 people in the music industry. They were like sports coaches and or construction or their teachers, like different things. But like my close family was like construction, but yet they were entrepreneurs. So we had that other side of it, and but yet my parents still like to like go to like theater. That was like kind of my like artistic side of it. Like they would like take us to plays because they wanted us to be culture and stuff. But like, man, now I just went down memory lane talking about theater there for a second.
No, that's what this podcast is about.
Yeah, man. Well, I think I'm on a totally different lane now. I just did like the old, like, yeah. So, what were we originally saying though? Cause I definitely, man, I feel like me and you could talk for hours, by the way. I'm having too much fun right now.
Yeah, no. We're there's no hurry.
Yeah.
What the fuck were we talking about? About how artists that just kind of like stay the same fizzle out.
Yeah. So for me, I think that's the thing is like, I just know how to get up and pick up a shovel and go to work. And sometimes that sound for me was like very like, I definitely got put into like a country box, like a modern, like late 2000s, like country, modern rock kind of stuff. But my songwriting was very blue collar, and it was like Nashville started giving me love. All I wanted to do is take my van and my trailer and my band and be on the road and play shows and meet fans and do the thing and perform. Like I love my live show that's the thing, but I also am a studio hound. Like I love being in here. I love being in the studio, making stuff. And, but yeah, it's like, go do that one thing. Well, then next thing, it's like, you're not that age anymore. 5 years goes past and you do this. And, I have enough records and music out and toured enough now to just kind of like what we're saying. It's like, just be true to everybody's like, be authentic and be who you are. But when you're 20, it's so difficult to do that because the truth is like, dude, I'm 38. Like, I think I just figured out who I am the last 10 years. Like I joke all the time. Like I've been married for a long time, but like, I didn't really understand what it looked. I didn't really understand what it meant to love my wife, like really get it until like the last 5 years. Cause you're just living so fast in college and, and get out of school and you're playing, especially if you're in a band. Like I've been on the road playing shows since I was 17, 18, and then now it's like, that sounds crazy to even say that out loud. Like that's 20 years ago. So I graduated high school 20 years ago, if you do the math, but
dude, I'm with you. You and I are the same age, right? Like, yeah. So
05 class 05. Are you 05?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Awesome, man. Dude, I was our class president. I had like a C- GPA, but I threw good parties. So I think that's why I was the class president. And my son, we was going to my old high school. Like I said, I live in my hometown I grew up at. And like, so I was supposed to have, apparently if you're the class president, you sign in blood that you're supposed to put the parties on, the reunions. So we did a 10-year. I always wanted to do a 5.5-year reunion to make fun of everybody that like hadn't graduated college, like as a joke. Cause everybody's still like, but we did a 10-year and it was awesome. Like we had a great class, great group of people. And then this was our 20th. And we transferred my son out of my old high school because there was just a bunch of bad stuff that was going on in his life. And he drew a bad card of a class that he was in. School didn't handle some stuff 100% not right. It was just a mess. So we took him out of that school, and then everybody starts messaging me like, when are you going to have the reunion, man? And I'm like, I need like 6 months to figure this out. So I got to plan this reunion at some point this year so we can throw a party.
It's funny you say that because like I was thinking about it so like, so I'm probably not even supposed to say this out loud, but I don't give a shit. But I'm a pharmacy tech, right? I guess if I don't tell you who it's for, it's fine. But so one of the girls I work with, we graduated high school together, and I've known her forever and a day, and like she likes to remind me that it's been almost 21 years since we graduated, right? And her and I are like 4 days apart. She's a little bit older than me, that's what I tell her anyway. And we talk about it all the time and about how different, high school is, because she has kids that are in high school, and how different the school we went to, because her kids went to the same school we did, how different it is now than it was.
Oh,
right?
dude, yeah.
And like the shit, and I say it like the shit these kids get away with, like get off my lawn, you know what I mean? But like, she tells me stories, and it's like we would have been shot on scene if we pulled some of the shit these kids do.
I don't know, man. I feel like we have a different story. Like, I'm very rural Ohio where I live. Like, we're out in the bean fields, and like I feel like kids don't take as many risks now. Like, we used to do a bunch of crazy stuff. Like, we were like, Boots and Whiskey. This is appropriate for the Boots and Whiskey podcast. Like, we were Boots and Whiskey out in the field, like very much what you saw in the movies, like drinking before we should have been, giant bonfires, chasing girls, like dirt bikes flying around. Like, that was our, BMX and everything. We all skated, and where I was fun because musically there was like a lot of hardcore heavy metal, like heavy music is where I was, like this region, very Midwest emo kind of stuff. But we were country kids. Yeah. Like, everybody was in FFA, everybody was in 4-H. But kids now, man, like I feel like they don't take risk. Like they don't go out and like stir up trouble. Right. At least maybe I'm blessed and my kids not gotten a bunch of trouble yet. But I mean, they're still getting in trouble. But like, I'm looking around they'll like be hanging out in my living room. Like, aren't you guys going to go to a party? Or like, what's going on? Like, isn't there a campfire you can go do something at? And they're like, no, not really. Like, they're like sitting around talking about their goals and like their like health habits and stuff. Like,
yeah.
They're definitely, I don't know. I feel like they're a little sharper. Like, I think we should, there's some some young kids that are like, got that thing. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of them, I feel like there's more of them getting after it than we did, but also there's that curse of like, they all think they have to be millionaires. And it's like, nah, that can get really, you watch all this stuff on social media. It's like, that can be kind of weird too, I guess.
Right. So. I guess my point is like we had, I don't want to say we had a dress code because we didn't have a dress code, but like, there was things you could wear and things you couldn't wear, right?
Yeah,
or things that were said and things that were done. Like, I mean, we were at the birth of a cell phone, and like, if we would have had a cell phone in school, you might as well have just been arrested. You know what I mean? But now these kids are texting and all this shit in class. Like, we would have been strung up.
Yeah, I've had to have those talks. Like, look, if this happens, like, because there's some preventative stuff that you've got to do. Like I said, my son like got sent some stuff, and it's like, if you don't have all this, and I tell him all the time, like, anybody can screenshot that thing, that you messed up. And I try to be a little forgiving on it all, because it's like, life happens and they're just punk kids, but it's definitely different. Like, they've got to have some different tools that it's funny you said. I was dropping my son Waylon off to school, and he grabbed a piece of gum this morning, put it in. I was like, I was like literally sitting there drinking coffee. I was like, you guys can chew gum in school? He's like, oh yeah. Like, what do you mean? I was like, we were never allowed to. Yeah. This is the old man podcast now, man. Come on. We got to get out of here. We got to talk about some cool stuff.
Easy. Listen. All right. We're recording this. What's today? February 2nd. My birthday is a month and 2 days from now. So I'll be 39.
I'm March 23rd. I'm March 23rd, man. So right there with
you. Maybe I should just put this out the week of my birthday and just be like, this will be the birthday episode, and talk about the old days, like we're fucking super old. But like, and it gets me thinking about, to think about music, right? Like, I know my musical tastes at that time of being in high school is definitely not what it is now. Like, if you would have told me 20 years ago, hey Jim, you're going to be doing a country music podcast in 20 years from now, I would have laughed straight in your face.
And look at you now, man. Yeah.
Right. But it's kind of like, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Fray and Dashboard Confessional are going out on tour this summer.
Crazy. Right.
And like, to me, it's like, like, I think about it, it's like, why aren't they playing bigger venues? And it's like, well, because they haven't been relevant in fucking 15 years, either of them. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh shit. But like, to me, it's like, this is right. That's going to be the best concert of the summer.
Bro, did you I don't know if you saw this, but I put this on TikTok. Chris Corral Dashboard, they like reshared I did a video. I was doing these thing. I love it. I still got more of them, but like, I like just reading poetry to like kind of just get out of songwriting sometimes. And so I was like, what if I just read song lyrics, like with no music? And so I started posting some of them, and Dashboard reposted it was, I did like this little series and I would just start out and be like, instead of a song, it's a poem. And then I'd read it. And dude, he shared it, and I was like, like, this is the best day ever.
That's awesome.
He shared my Chris Caraba.
Now, let me ask you that, see, we're talking about it. Was that the kind of music you were into in high school? What were you into in high school when we were getting ready to get out of there?
Right, man. I was a huge, honestly, Dashboard Confessional. There's a band called Brand New that was one of my favorite bands. I was just tracking, had a song get tracked at Grady Saxman's in Nashville, and Grady like referenced my music. He was like Death Cab for Country. Like, it's funny, man, because it is a weird mix of like, I used to think it was like a stylistic thing, but it's like, it's literally who I am. Like, I grew up as blue collar as you can get, but yet like I went to the Conservatory of Music, but yeah, I was like into, got super into the songwriting culture with Nashville, but I also am still very into like, emo, pop punk, hard, heavy. I like heavy music too. And like, but I love, hip hop. I mean, we listen to, it's funny when I'm hanging at home, I listen to a lot of like lo-fi instrumental, like no lyrics, just like that, like in the background, just to get myself, I'm so obsessed with the patterns of songs and songwriting. So anything with lyrics, I'm just like, like a kid. But yeah, I definitely grew up like an emo Midwest kid. I mean, it was just the way it was. If you wanted to play music around here, you either had a family that played bluegrass, so you learned it. Like, but I didn't have that. But I just had all my buddies that played guitar or played hardcore music and like street. You're from like the Northeast. Like you've heard of straight edge. Like, does that, straight edge kids were like, so like they have the X's, like that was huge. That culture was like in my high school was like, if you wanted to play music, you were like in that. And I was never straight edge, but my best, like I was like drinking too much around the campfires when I was a kid or whatever. But like, but all of those kids were into that music and I loved the culture. But I thought it was interesting though, because like when I literally started my first band because I was like, that was my project. Cause I was in yearbook class with some kid and we talked about was like, you want to start a band that like our aunts and uncles, when they come see us play, they can like understand what we're saying. And it's not just like, rah, rah, rah,
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I have these songs that I've been writing. And so I became like the acoustic guitar dude at those shows. So there'd be like heavy, and then there'd be an acoustic guitar, like Bright Eyes came out, Dashboard was huge. So if you wanted to be in a band, you just had to there wasn't like, I guess I was that person around here, but like there wasn't like a country band, there wasn't great musician. I mean, they're great musicians for different style of music, but if I wanted to be around music, that was the only thing. And there was all these cool churches around here that like, they would have their like, their basements for like youth nights and they would have battle of the bands. And like, we would like start bands and be in bands. And I'd play drums. Like I love playing drums and, just literally because these churches would have these like battle of the bands nights and get all the kids there. And it was like our own little weird scene of music, but it was a thing. Like the Midwest was peppered with like house shows and like, it was there's a culture around that I really fell in love with that. Like I didn't grow up like dreaming to play the Grand Ole Opry. Like I just grew up wanting to play music with my friends, Now that's definitely a dream of mine. It's on my guitar strap. The coordinates are on my, bunch of fans and Big Old Family. Shouts out to Big Old Family. Bunch of my fans got me a Buckarette, which is like, she makes the straps for like Combs, Morgan Wallen, Morgan Wade, like all kinds of cats over the year. Ashley McBride. And they got me one, like a custom one. And so it's got the coordinates on the back of it. And there's like a rocket ship that's going off. And then the cloud that it's going into is the coordinates of the Grand Ole Opry. So now I guess it's definitely a dream of mine. So
that's awesome.
We'll see.
That's, it's
Yeah.
funny that we're talking about like all of this punk rock music, right? Because like, so we had Jarrett Reddick on here like less than a year ago now, maybe last year sometime. And you know
You
Jarrett,
had
he's
who?
Jarrett Reddick, the lead singer for
All
Bowling
right.
for Soup.
Right on. Right on. Awesome.
So we were talking about punk rock and country music, and like, it kind of hit me where, you slow a lot of those songs down. Like you can even do it with Dashboard, right? Where you slow those songs down and throw just an acoustic guitar behind it and a slide and, whatever.
Right.
Those are country tunes, like
Yeah. Yeah, man.
they are pure storytelling country tunes. And, it's hard. You go back and listen to them like in that state of mind. And it's like, yeah, they are. They really, really are. Like they could easily cross over in today's world and be successful.
Right. Right. Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some of the best songs. I think there's a thing that happened. I got like, I like to tag like lyrics, like first line and the last line, like bookending it. And I had somebody who was like, that's that country trick. And I was like, no, I learned that from Death Cab for Cutie, because they do that all the time. Like,
Right.
just songs. That's one of the things about Crooner Circus that I love. Like, and songwriting rounds, like it just eliminates all of the genres, all of the, and there's a thing about a person with an acoustic guitar that kind of falls into any kind of genre, but like there's some music that doesn't work for that. But for the most part, like a song and a pop music sensibility, that this is a, like, here's your verse, here's your chorus, here's the song. Like songwriting rounds just eliminate all of the world building that an artist has and all of the marketing and all the lights and the stuff. And it's like, that's a guitar or a piano and somebody singing. And that alone can move a room. And like the best songs do that no matter what genre it is,
Yeah.
We've been venturing, like I've never put any covers out, and we've been talking about doing that this year. And there's a couple that I'm like really chewing on. Like when I do covers, I'm very much to like them, like make them like my thing. Like when we're playing party bars, like, yeah, we can do covers, but still it's like, I didn't show up to do this way. Like I there's still going to be like a Noah Smith flavor on it.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was because like my voice was like limiting me, or like I wasn't good enough as a musician. But it's like, no, man, I love to make stuff be like my thing.
Yeah.
And, so I've been chewing on some covers, and I'm really excited to we'll see. I think I might be releasing a couple covers this year. I've never done that in my music. So it's like, it's like tricking yourself into thinking like, I got to write every song. It's like, man, there's so many good songs already out there and I feed my family literally with like our live performance. So if a song works live, why wouldn't I cut it? Why wouldn't I put it out?
Yeah.
If it can help move the needle and take care of my team and a band and everything, grow this thing and keep building it. So yeah, man, it all starts with a song. That's like, that's definitely a good saying.
It's funny you say that, because I have historically, and like I've never been apologetic about it. Like I'm not the world's biggest cover fan, but let me explain. I hate when artists that have really good original music go out, play a 90-minute set, and 45 minutes of it is covers.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, it's crazy. You'll go see an opening, not the headliner, but like the one of three for like a major, like you go see an arena show. Those openers will play, and I get it because it's kind of like your job at that point. But man, like I don't know, like the people that are there that early at the show anyway are like usually the diehard fans, and like they'll play 3/4 of their set covers. And
yeah,
I've had so many I've had so many people encouraging me to do that more. And there's a place, I will say, I've opened my mind up to that being effective. Like I went and opened for Cody Parks in the Dirty South. Do you know those guys?
Yeah.
They're like metal country, man. If you haven't talked to those guys, it's crazy. Like Cody's all like, so I went and opened for those guys in Indianapolis at a place called the Hi-Fi. And I was just kind of reading the room, and they're there to see Cody and the metal thing. And it's a metal band with country music for country songs, basically. And so good. Like I loved that show. Those guys really inspired me that night. Cody Parks and Dirty South reminded me of the music that I grew up in and why I started doing it. And we were in the hi-fi in Indianapolis is like this super tight little small room, but if you pack it out, it's amazing. But seeing them in that show, like I was watching their crowd, and I switched. I played 2 covers in like a 40-minute opening slot, and man, it worked so well. And it's like, so sometimes a cover can really bring people into your world so you can have the opportunity to share things with you, versus I spent a long time just like forcing my stuff, but that also taught me how to work a room that like I can get my songs to hit a room because of how I intro it or build a story around it or how that looks. So it's a toss up, you know, but musically I didn't grow up like wanting to be John Mayer or even wanting to be Chris Carrabba. I was like, I want to go do that myself and find my own thing. But sometimes I wish I was a little more of that type of musician where it was like, I just sat and listen to every guitar lick on that Merle Haggard, because those guys are such good musicians that had that brain. And I'm like, man, I wish I'd have spent a little more time like playing my guitar and getting better at that thing versus being a songwriter and a storyteller.
You know, with the cover thing though, like I like what you said about making it yours, right? And like that's when I don't have a problem with it, right? If you're gonna go out there and do a cover of a song, like, and you have a style or whatever, like stick with that. Like make it your own. You know, I don't want to hear the same version of fucking Wagon Wheel that I've heard for the last 15 years. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Right.
You know, and like that's coming from a diehard, you know, like, you know, the casual karaoke bar fans and whatever, like that's great. Yeah. But like, you know, if I'm going to hear Wagon Wheel for the millionth time and not want to blow my brains out, I want to hear it done different this time, please.
Yeah, right. But that, you know, that girl at the bachelorette party with her 20 friends, they want to hear it exactly how Darius Rucker's
They do. They do. They do. And
so
you know what?
You got to ask yourself, who's buying dinner tonight? You know, that's
true. And you know what? I think even 30-year-old version of me would have been like, yeah, let's just do that for them.
Yeah. Who wears the hat?
Right. Shit. So, you know, usually when people come on here, there's a reason. I don't even know why. That sounds awful. Why are you here, Noah? But like, usually it's like something's coming up or whatever. And like, you know, your girl reached out to us and was like, you know, we know Noah's been on the show before. And I was like, dude, that was like fucking 3 years ago. Like, why wouldn't he come back?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Shouts out Susan, my business manager. She hit you up and she's, don't feel too bad for it. She's on the rock boat right now. So she's out cruising the rock boat, being a part of that experience. So,
you know,
but yeah,
I wanted to bring that up because I've always, when I first started to get into music, like really into it, like that was my style, you know, the Sister Hazels, you know, like that kind of sound, that world. Like when I really got into this, that was what I was really into. Right. And it, for me, I was thinking about it today and like how much that has, I don't want to say it's changed, but it's kind of like developed into what this is, right? Where a lot of those bands and artists that are on, you know, the Will Hogues of the world and, so on and so forth, right? Like those guys and girls could very much come into this realm of a world of what I'm doing. Yeah. But like, like, I don't want to say I forget, but it's almost like, like they're the same, but they're also different. Does that make sense? Like where
are you talking about coming in your world like as a podcaster or just style of music that you're like around more like country? I'm sure, you know, you do a lot of country stuff.
Both. Because, you know, I've had Sister Hazel on here. I've had, you know,
nice,
you know, people from that time in my life where it's like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk and shoot the shit and, you know, get, you know, whatever. Right. But it's like, some of those things to me, I don't know if it's a fear thing. Yeah. Like, I don't see how they would work, or do I even give a shit if it works or not? Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Are you are you saying like why wouldn't an artist do a podcast, or are you just saying
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
I mean,
know.
like, I guess my question to myself out loud would be like, would those artists that like I looked up to in my mid to late 20s,
Okay.
would they come on here to talk even if it's not country music related?
Oh yeah, I got you. I thought you were saying like, would they start a podcast? Like, you mean come on, Boots and Whiskey?
No, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they get to have a podcast or not. But
Yeah,
like,
you mean actually come on your show? Yeah, dude, I think you'd be surprised like how many people. I think it's a human thing. Like, that's why podcasts are still growing. Like, this thing hasn't. I remember in college, like our professor was like, you guys should start. I went to school for a lot of like new media, a lot of stuff that's happening right now. Like, we were like seeing that coming when I was in school, and but yeah, I mean, podcasts aren't going away. I think actually we're going to find it even like boost even more in the experience, and video is a part of that. Like, people want a human connection and realize that there's like real life. And I think a lot of artists that have lived in that bubble, like, dude, I just saw Papa Roach was on Whiskey Jam. Like, shouts out to Whiskey Jam in Nashville. I was like, what in what world would that have ever happened in 1999 or 2006 or whenever? I don't know. It was probably 2000. Papa Roach was big before then, probably, but like that never would have happened. Like, those guys are reachable, and
right.
They're just dudes. And I think the Rock Boat's a huge example of that. Like, all these incredible bands, and you talk about Will Hogan, like Sister Hazel and that whole crew, like what they've built, like the people that are on that. I've never been on the boat, but like I have so many fans who are like, no, you've got to get on this boat, man. Like Ohio band Red, Wanting Blue, which I've opened for 4 or 5 times in my past. Like, they're on that. They're like kings on there. I mean, they're kings out there. I think they're one of the best rock and roll bands on the planet. But like,
I agree.
They're on that.
We actually
boat,
had Scott Terry on this show a few years ago.
Oh, dude, shouts out, man. Dude, I learned something from him that I'll never forget. We used to play this place called the Mad Frog in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they were like they're a couple years older than me, but like when I was coming up, they were definitely a band, and I got to open for Red, Wanting Blue, and I was like, I'm gonna go open the show, and when they got there for sound check, there was all these like DJ lights spinning everywhere, and most bands would come into a room and they're just like, I'm just focused on setting my mic up and playing the show, and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna get out of here, whatever, and go have beer, whatever. But like Scott came, I saw him like get up on this bar and unplug these lights because they were like flashy, right? And he was setting that room up for their show, and he's like, "This is now my room, and I'm gonna build this world that my fans can come in," and that's what he's so freaking good at. And I always looked up to that, and like from that day forward, like you can ask my band, like when I walk in, I'm just from the sidewalk to the stage. It's like I'm looking at every piece of that room and what's going to help that show. So that when our fans that bought a ticket and they're going to go spend $100 taking their lady or their guy out for a date, like when they walk into that room, it's like it all matters. Like this whole experience matters, like I would like control the way it smells if I could, but like we play in a lot of places I wish we could, but like PBR all over the floor. But like I learned that from Scott, man. And like rock and roll is rock and roll. It just, I feel like my music is also like, I love country music, but also out of respect for like country, real country fans. Like, I don't know if my stuff, it is country, but it's like, I changed my bio to just like American songwriter. It's like,
right.
That's what I do. And I have songs that are heavy that sound like butt rock, and I have folky, and I have country, and I got blue collar, and we got whiskey songs, and we got the stuff. And that's just what I love to do, So that whole genre thing, and I don't know, kids coming up now, I tell you this, like people, there's a 19-year-old right now that doesn't care. And that's what I have to remind myself. Like, now I got to keep making, because they didn't see what it was like before, and now I'm on that a little bit on the other side of that, where it's like, I'm not a college. I've went through that thing, but I'm still doing it. Like I can go run with whoever, a lot of road dogs that we all know that are like that. It's like, now you're in your 30s and still kind of chasing the thing that you did when you're 19. And, I got this whole sleeve right here is on my arm is burn the ships. Like there's no retreat. Like, this is the life now. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it can get kind of weird too, I guess. But yeah, dude, shouts out to the Rock Boat and that whole crew. And that's pretty cool. One of our buddy Megan Farrell, she's on the boat. She's definitely got a great thing going. I've written a bunch of songs with her. I remember talking with her when she was like, I got asked to go do background vocals on this thing called the Rock Boat. And it's like, I've seen all the fans on that boat just like fully fall in love and embrace who Megan is. And I feel like it's kind of changed her life. Like it hurt. So the Rock Boat scene is pretty incredible. Maybe next year we'll get on there. If you're listening to this, Rock Boat, let's go. 2027. Yeah, right. I'm in.
I mean, you know, it's funny you brought up Red, Wanting Blue, because it's like, I don't want to say forget, but I've been such a Red, Wanting Blue fan since I was probably, God, I don't know, 25, 24, 25 years old. And like, yeah, I talk about Red, Wanting Blue, like everybody should know who they are. Right.
Yeah.
And like, I forget that that's not how it is with a lot of music, right? Regardless of who it is, right? If you're not on the radio, for the most part, the majority of people don't know who the fuck you are, right? And but like I talk about them, you know, like another. I mean, they're not from Ohio, but they went to Ohio State. But like OAR for me was huge, yeah. And you know, like I love that we're talking about it because it's very nostalgic. You know, where it's like, oh shit. Like, and now I'm going to go, when we're done here, I'm going to go throw on Red, Wanting Blue and
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Reminisce a little bit.
Yeah. It's a great band. They're not done, man. I feel like they've went through it and kind of coming on that other side of what's possible next. You know, I'm really excited. Yeah. I have a lot of fans that are hardcore fans of mine that are huge Red, Wanting Blue fans.
And, you know, living out where you are, you get to see them when they were really nobodies.
Yeah, man. I mean, that place called the Mad. Well, so that place would sell out at like 200 people. But I mean, that was some of the best nights, like just packed in, asses to elbows, just rock and roll. You know, the Mad Frog, man. If you've never heard of that, but like the Mad Frog was a legendary spot. Like it was this little small bar right across from University of Cincinnati. They actually just tore the building down. But man, you could get in there as a college band and sell it out for, 200. And they would do this cool thing where they would, like, when people would walk in the door, they would ask who you were there to see and they would mark you down. And the first 8 people would go to the sound guy. So like it was, let's say there's 3 bands, like every band would pay him $40 and that would cover his like $150 or whatever. But like, for me, it was like, if I can get 8 people there, everything I make after that, we're actually making. So like a college band could go make $1,000. And so it was like the owner was so good about that, like taking care of bands coming up. And it was a special, awesome spot. And then like it was weird. Like, I don't know where the owners were from, but like they were immigrants, but like they were the coolest cats. But sometimes you would come in and they'd all be like sitting around a table having a meeting, and they were Turkish. That's what they were. They were Turkish. And they were the coolest dudes. They would have like bubble vest on and like these little like toboggans. And you'd walk in, you were like, I'm here to drop my posters off. And they're like having a business meeting about all their businesses that are going. And it was just like the coolest rock and roll club ever, man. Like it was they were like, I had my 21st birthday when I was on stage playing a show, and somebody brought a tray of shots up, and we were passing shots up. And the owner came up to me. He's like, You've been drinking at this bar for years, and you just telling me you turned 21 on stage, like, because I was going in there underage in college and drinking and stuff. So such good memories. But Red, Wanting Blue used to roll through there, man. Like, that was one of their spots that they built and grew, and they definitely are a band that like gives people a reason to like get out on the road, because that's where they've built it all.
Now, when you were doing that, like, when you have a situation like that and you're playing in places like that, does it put a fire into your ass to get outside of your comfort zone and bring it to somewhere else? Or does it make you want to just stay right there?
What do you mean comfort zone? Like, what do you mean by that? Like the types of shows or types of music that? Yeah,
like types of shows. Like if you're playing at a spot that really takes care of you and that sort of thing, like, do you want to just continuously play there? Or, and people are showing up and you're packing it out? Or does it make you does it give you that sense of like, hey, we've got something here, let's bring it somewhere else too?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Well, I tell you, man, I'm very loyal to the bone to like the venues that take good care of me and my fans. Like the Southgate House Revival in Newport, Kentucky is my favorite venue on the planet. I'm gonna say that probably till I die, just because it's been such a big part of my life. Mad Frog was a huge part of my life too. But my Noah Smith career, when I put my name on it, I quoted it like that's actually my name. But uh yeah, it's tricky because you want to get out on the road, but how did you build that? I think it's something, to be quite honest. I think for a decade I was a little confused on, and we're really trying to kind of step back. Like, I want to do a big show at the Southgate House every year. It's not, but now I do my Crooner Circus there, and we're doing business together, and it's like part of my musical family, you know. Like me and the owner will go get coffee sometimes because we should do it more because I absolutely love her, and like, but taking that to other places, you think, like, I got to get out on the road. We grew more fans when I was out just saying yes to everything. But I've really gotten to a place where we're trying to be smart about it, because you can just like exhaust everybody and really like literally just like destroy your life in a way if you think the only way to do it is to play those shows. So I'm definitely in a place now, like I want to be smart about it and grow it, but then also knowing like it takes time. Like I'm going back up this weekend to a place in Cleveland called Dunlap's Bar. I walked in there, I was like, this place is a little cool honky tonk in Cleveland that's like, there's music posters on the wall. You can tell there's music people hanging out. And I'm going back up there, and then we're going to go back up there in a couple months. And it's like every new town you go to, you're unless you blow up on TikTok. If you blow up on TikTok, then people will start showing like that next stratosphere of growth. We see it happening all around us, but I know that I can go in there, and if there's 10 people in that room, I can connect with those 10 people, and hopefully they dig what I do enough that in 3 months when I come back, they'll bring some friends, you know? And like, that's that old school way of growing it, that I really think we are getting ready to go into an era of those types of shows are going to be, and those 300 cap rooms are going to become so important, because people are starved for human connection. Like, everybody's freaking out about AI. Well, the truth is Shakespeare is still here. It's still real. The theater's still happening. So live music's, I think we're getting ready to see something happen with live music that we haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
Because people are just going to want to go drink PBR and let the sun get sunburned and sing songs together, whatever that looks like, you know, or go to a little, I like a little small spot and have an intimate thing. And that's why Crooner Circus, I think, is really going well. Cause it's like a listening room, 50 people in a room, just pin drop quiet, paying attention. And artists love being a part of that, because on a Thursday night to have 50 people sitting and listening to the music is a gift in a big way, you know? And so it's pretty special.
Yeah. You know, and let me ask you about that. And like, this is when you bring this thing on the road, right? Or you go to different spots than what your home base. Do you find that people that are booking it are a little hesitant to do it because of what it is?
Because of my music?
No, just because it's like, that singer-songwriter, storyteller, writers round, it's not, you're not going to get a rowdy crowd. You're not going to get necessarily,
Oh, I definitely think it's just my shows are my artist shows are this way. And you come to a Noah Smith show, like but Crooner Circus and songwriter rounds, like, man, shouts out to my people at Nashville Nights. That's who I've been to Denmark with a few times. They got some awesome stuff growing now, building in the United States. Like, they're taking their writers round out on the road. And I tell you what, like with Crooner Circus, when I've taken it out to different places, I feel like we have to like train rooms to learn what that is. But then as soon as they get it, like as soon as a promoter gets it or they see it, they're like, oh, a writer's round isn't a concert. It's more like a Broadway show. It's more like there's this experience happening versus I'm going to go get drunk and listen to a band, you know? And those are the types, like I'm definitely into this phase. Like I'm not shouts out to Boots and Whiskey, but like, I'm not just singing about whiskey in country, like my music, you know, like I was for a while. Cause it was like, but it was what we were doing. We were partying way too hard, and we were living that life. And I wrestle with that, but like writers rounds and are definitely about, and you know, my shows that I love, it's like consuming the music versus just hearing it while you have a party is a totally different thing. There's both sides of that in my show. We can go do a 3-hour cover set in Chicago and burn the place to the ground. But when I leave, is there anybody here that's along with for the rest of this journey, or did they forget about us as soon as we walked off the stage? And that's a balance. And when you're touring, we're wrestling that with the band right now. Like there's actually there's going to be some conversation. We have a little meeting talking about some stuff after this, like with my band, like, are we working on the hit cover songs or are we going to make the next record? Like, where's our time? You know, there's only 168 hours a week, but sometimes we got to get out on the road and go play the cover shows and go throw a party just so we can get into a room. It's so hard to get into a room. And once you get in there, it's like this, it really it all matters from the sidewalk to the stage. Like I say it all the time, like it all matters, you know? And, but we love it, man. We love to play. We love to play live. I love my band. I love playing with my band. Like I'm such a band dork. Like I love being a part of the thing and the culture and the family behind that and what it can all mean for your life. Cause when it works, it's magic. When it doesn't work, it can get really weird.
Now,
but,
you know,
but it's worth it.
You talk about your love for your band, right? And like, you know, you go out there as Noah Smith, right? Does your band have a name? Like, you know how like some, you know, like fucking Kip Moore's, his band's the Black Hearts, or Lee Bryce's band is the Love Cannons, you know, whatever. Like, does your band have a name?
So, man, they don't. They don't. And one of the things I've really been big about, I hope my band hears this, because I've always said it's not my job to make them a band. Like, because there's a thing, and I've had different players along the years, but like when the group I have right now, we've been together for a few years, like this group, and it's different pieces have moved and stuff. And, but like when we had we have a locked in group. Like I like to have, I don't like to get subs. I don't love to have hired guns that just come in and get out. Cause we build our shows with you have to rehearse for this stuff. Like we're prepared to like, all of our anybody could come in and learn what we're doing, but like we're building a show, we're building moments, and so fans can like experience this thing when they leave. And but I don't like getting new people involved in that. But then but I've told my band, like, it's not my job to make you a band, because I believe like the band becomes the band. And now I really think that we have that. Like my band is starting to rehearse without me for the first time ever. Like I'm on podcasts and I'm tracking and I'm doing this and I'm heading out on the road. I'm going to be gone for 3 days. And so like I work for Noah Smith is the way I look at it. Like that's me, but like I work for the name on the t-shirt, you know, and my band's really starting to see that and take some ownership. One of the things that happened is like making that record together. It really let them all know, like, you know, like my drummer is a younger drummer. He's a younger cat, hasn't played on a ton of studio stuff. Like I've had some of the best drummers on the planet play on my stuff. Like, but I was like, dude, I believe in you. I believe what we can do. And I hope that my band saw that as like, hey, sink your teeth into this. And you can have your dream too. You know, like this isn't just about me, you know, counting my money and riding around in a dually truck. Like I'll drive a Kia so we can go tour the world. You know, and I was like, that's my mentality about all this. And so if one of us win, we can all get together and we can all win together. And I feel that in my bones, like my responsibility to make that happen. And then if that's working right and they're pushing, then it's going to drive me to get any better. You know, like my band's better musicians than I am. And that's how I want it. I want them to keep pushing me and keep growing. And then I'll work my ass off so they have something to show up for and get after. Like that's the dream. Like it works really well and it works, you know, but such a dynamic thing to be in a band. It's especially, I sometimes I do wonder if it would be better to like be the gun, like where it's like, hey, I need you to come do the job. See you later. Peace. Like, I just don't know how to live. I just don't know how to make music that way. Like I want to look over and know like, man, my guitar player just got through one of the hardest things he's ever dealt with, and look at him over there, just like celebrating life right now. You know, like that's that. Yeah. It's that enthusiasm for one another on stage is like, there's just nothing like. I have fans the people in the room can feel that. Like that's the magic, yeah, man, get me in my feels here. I believe in that. I really do. I really believe in that approach. I feel like my camera keeps like sneaking over. I don't know if it's like, oh, there we go. Now I'm centered. I've been like leaning this way.
I haven't noticed, so it's probably fine. So, I kind of jokingly said earlier, like, I don't know what you're doing here promoting or anything, but are you promoting anything? Like, are you here to promote something that I totally glazed over in an email?
Well, yeah, actually this Friday, no, I'm just joking, man. No. So yeah, no, I love it. Like, yeah, I think we, we're just out getting back out and getting after it and letting people know where Noah Smith's at and the band and what we're doing. And I think I've stayed at the level that I'm at. I think I've stayed relevant for a long time, enough where people are like keeping an eye on what we're doing. But 2026, I've got more music coming out this year than unless I get hit by a car tomorrow. And in that case, I have somebody that has all the files that they need to at least release music through like April. But then my numbers will blow up like crazy, and then cut this clip and put it out there and be like, look what happened. And then like, maybe my kids will get their college paid for.
Right.
He predicted we should stage this whole thing. It'll be a PR stunt. No, man. I'm releasing music. I mean, honestly, man, if I had something to promote, or it's not even promote, I just believe in it. Like, you don't have to sell something if you believe in it, like that kind of thing. But my Patreon is like becoming a real part of my career. And it's like, my fans are funding my records. And to me, like, we've hit this nice little sweet spot. We got a little bit more to go of like my Cavaliers and the Cadillacs, my last record that came out, was 100% paid for by my Patreon supporters. So I'm always cooking that up. I'm always dropping, like I put out like 40 songs on there last year, and I'm, once a week I try to drop something. Now, honestly, I was doing it once a week, but now it's like at least 2 a month I'll put out, because I'm cooking, and my fans are like, dude, we want you to actually go make real records. But that's a big part of my life, man. We got a ton of music coming out. I'm hitting the road. We got some great shows coming up. We're going to be in Nashville. I don't know when this comes out, but we're going to be in Nashville on March the 4th with our boys from Raised Rowdy, doing Rowdy on the Road. My full band's going to be down there. I'm sure you know those guys. See them around.
Yeah.
Are they competitors of the Boots and Whiskey podcast?
Like, honestly, they're on a totally different level than we are. So no, I mean,
yeah, man, but they got some great stuff and bringing people to the table from different worlds. But so we're going to be doing that in March. Yeah, man, NoahSmithMusic.com. Really, if I could just check it out, check out the world we're living in and I'm making a lot of music right now. We've got a great deal going on. I'm really excited about where we can kind of write, record, and release at a lot higher rate. And so from writing it to getting it mixed and distributed, I've got a great team together. Shouts out to Alternator Records. Our brother Michael James, man, he mixed Cavaliers and the Cadillacs for us, and he's got some other songs that we're putting together. And I'm really stoked, man. So I'm promoting me, dude. Come on, man.
I mean,
I'm promoting me in this band without a name. I do always say this big. What do I say? Give it up. I always say, give it up for this badass band up here. Like, that's what I always say. But my wife I used to say this band. She's like, say my band. So now I've been saying, give it up for my band.
Yeah. It's funny you talk about the competitor thing, because I used to think about that a lot, like, and having to keep up with the Joneses, like with the Raised Rowdies and the Country Centrals and all that, and like it was driving me fucking nuts, if I'm being real, right? And
yeah, right.
Once I stopped giving a shit about what they were doing and how they were doing, my stuff got better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying better than theirs,
right.
But like my stuff on a surface level, I think got better, and it's just. But and it's also, I love what all those guys do. I really do. But like, to me, on this side of it, and I could be totally wrong, right? But it's too corporate. It's too cookie cutter. It's too polished. It's too, it's it's too ass kissy. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if I want to go out there and slam this, that, and the other thing, or say good things about this, that, and the other thing that somebody else may not be doing, I want to do that. I want to have the creative freedom to come on here and be like, you know, like I did on fucking Instagram today and get crucified for it, where like I'd rather watch a Kid Rock concert than a Bad Bunny concert at the Super Bowl, and I got crucified.
Oh, did you like that? You said that today?
Yeah. But like, you know what? Like, but like, I'm also a country music guy. Like, why would I want to watch? You know, like, I don't give a shit about Bad Bunny. I don't care what he does or how he does it. Like, I don't care about how many Grammys he's got. Like, that's not my style of music, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, but
man. Like, I mean, I didn't realize you had a big blow up today. So,
it was
just
awesome.
a tricky time, man. I mean, I think as a music, but, I mean, you know, Ray's Rowdy, dude, like those guys, like when they first came to town, Nicky T, like I remember like him handing me a hat at Tin Roof Revival and like putting a hat on, and like months later, somebody came up to me like, "You're one of those Ray's Rowdy artists." Like literally, guys, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "They just gave me a hat," and like, dude, those guys have given me so much love for like the level that I'm at as an independent artist. Like even the word independent artist in my world versus like the real Nashville or the real, there's the music industry. Like the word record means something different to, it's kind of like money. Like when you say like, man, I got money. Well, to some people that means one thing, but if you say this project needs to get some money behind it, you're talking about $250,000 at that point. Like they mean two different things. And, I think, dude, I'm really excited to see where those guys have like how they've became and what's happened. The same thing with Whiskey Jam. Like I remember Ward being at like literally making sandwiches behind the bar, like talking to him about this thing. And like we've played Whiskey Jam 3 times. We haven't played it in the last couple of years since they've like moved and blew up. But like it's inspiring. And what I think the problem is there's so many people in the industry that are like this, like it's not their gatekeeping, but it's like they want to keep the thing, and there's this scarcity mindset. And so they don't share that journey, and they don't even share, like, it would be better for a bunch of podcasters to actually share their contacts and like bring, but people, because the truth is there's enough of an audience. And I think I deal with this a lot with artists, like, especially in the country music world. I've had so many bands in Cincinnati and artists that I'm like, dude, we should team up because you can bring 150 people and I can bring 150 people. And there is nothing better for an artist at our level than a 300 cap sold out room, because that 300 cap sold out room on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook will look like 2,000 people, and people want to be a part of that next show. But yet you have all of these guys that are now, and gals, like they're just going to do the cover set. There's going to be 30 people there. And then they're not sharing their heart and their moment. People's lives aren't being changed. And then they're just going to do that forever. And there's a scarcity thing. And a lot of it's because of money. Like, well, I'm not going to make any money. It's like, you're not making any money anyway. Like, so why don't we just like team up? Like I offer artists to like, hey, my band can learn your 10 of your songs. Can you get us in this room and let's work together and let's build this thing? And man, people in the music industry are set, but every other realtors do that. Like they help and they teach. Like people in other industries work that way. And I'm sure it's hard, man. Everybody's keeping an eye on these metrics that don't matter. And, but yeah, man, like I said, March 4th, we're playing at Audie's. Like I'm excited to be back. We haven't played, Rowdy on the road in a long time, but they are in that world though. So you're right. And it's like, there's an audience there, and there's an audience that loves that thing. And there's an audience that loves the Boots and Whiskey podcast. And the truth is there's enough humans on this planet to everybody to eat, and be a part of it.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because it's like, I tell artists that have never been on this podcast before, when they start, like how you and I were shooting the shit a little bit before we hit record. And like, I tell them straight out, I'm like, this is going to be like, unlike any other podcast or interview you ever will do. Like, you're not going to get the cookie cutter fucking questions, and we're not going to talk about your music probably. We're going to, we want to learn about you as a person, as an artist, not even as an artist, just as a human being. Because I feel like once you know that about somebody that is in this world, the music either A, becomes better, or B makes more sense.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a big believer too, man. I mean, it's why we're really trying to get back out on the road this year. Even if I used to never tour by myself. I was always like, we got to bring the band. Like I'm going to Kent, Ohio and Cleveland this weekend. And we've got some other stuff. We're going to be in Marietta later this year. Like just by myself, Marietta will be with the band. But I'm a big believer, like every real fan that I have, I didn't meet them on the internet. I mean, the real, I shouldn't say that because there's some amazing people that follow and consume everything I do that but shows are where it changed and where like we became part of each other's life, whether it's selling shirts or at the end of the night and talking and communicating and share. Oh, my uncle was going through this thing. And like, it just fuels me so much to do that and be a part of it. But it's hard because we're always watching this other thing. Man, you talk about imposter syndrome earlier. I just want to share this because it's been kind of scratching at me. Like we all have that. I learned this. I don't even know where I learned this, but it's something I'll give you a little hack for that. Like our brains, this is going to sound, I'm getting super dorky for a second, but our brains can't fully focus on two things at once. Like people think you can multitask, but you can't, somebody told me this one time. They're like, whenever you're getting into that imposter syndrome side where you don't think you can do that, or you're like self-sabotaging, they were talking, it's a great question to ask yourself is who am I serving? And also how to get motivation. Like if you're not motivated, like who am I serving? And you instantly, cause you can't think about yourself and other people at the same time, like fully,
Right.
And so when you go, who am I serving? Like I go, okay, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to get up and make this thing. I don't want to make this piece of content. I don't want to do a podcast or whatever. And it's like, well, who am I serving? Well, my wife and my kids, my band, my team, my fans. I need to get up and do this for them. And then you kind of like get out of your own way. Like that's been so crucial for me to help do that. And you also like, it gives me like a sense of purpose. Like even if this record drops, like I want everybody to like it, but if it sucks and nobody likes it, like I still got to go make it because that's my job today to go serve the thing,
Yeah, I get that 100%. I can't tell you how many times in the last 5 years I have gotten, it's podcast time and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. And then it's like, you start doing it and you're like, this is why I do this.
Yeah. You schedule stuff, you schedule it so far ahead and next thing that week piles up and it's like, I will say, man, I've canceled more things. When I mean cancel, like I've adjusted more things in the last year than I ever have in my life because I finally gave myself permission that like, man, that thing, like it's important, but is it urgent? Like, does it need to happen? And like, I had to move her right. I'm supposed to write with my pal, Easy Mark. So Mark, we should make sure we write if you hear this podcast, but we're going to get together and write. He's an artist in Cincinnati, songwriter. And I just love what he does. Dude's crazy. I love what he does. And we're like, let's just see what happens. Like, I check out Easy Mark, man. He's a whole vibe. It's a whole thing. And he dresses better than anybody I've ever seen and has the nicest guitars you'll ever see. Like it's a whole thing. But I really respect like his art form, what he's doing. But I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I got to change my right Tuesday. Like I got some stuff with my family that popped up. Like I've just got to be at this thing. And he was like, bro, no big deal. Like we'll hit you up. Years ago, man, I would have never canceled that. I would have missed something or I'd have made that happen. And you just get to that point where you're like, man, the art needs to be healthy. The thing needs to happen. No matter how corporate-y or, radio you go, like the thing needs to be, if I'm not healthy, this thing isn't going to be healthy. And I'm really excited about that right now with my team. Like, shouts out Susan again, like we talked to, set this up for us. Like my band, like I really feel like my band, like, I can trust fall into them more than I ever have, and just let the thing happen behind me. And it lets me be who I need to be. And I'm really, really stoked for that. Like this next season of where we're going, I'm really excited for. And they kind of also saw the light. Like we need Noah to go be the artist and be not just be the artist, but like be a artist, like go write songs, go, go to the pool, like go spend time with your family, go to the basketball game or whatever. And the art will eventually come from that needs to happen. And you got to live life or you got nothing else to write about,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's funny because I went through a lot of the same thing for a while, where I was I don't make any money doing this, right? But like this was, I don't want to say my identity, but like it was, and
Yeah.
right, wrong, and different. Like I had to go through a lot of things. One mainly being a divorce to like realize that, dude, like you need to, maybe you do need to slow the fuck down. Maybe you do say no to this, or, if you're not feeling it that day, you say, hey, let's reschedule because you just need to, and so like, I get it. I get it wholeheartedly.
I mean, it's a journey, man. That's for sure.
Yep.
Podcasts have been a great way to say. Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I it's one of those things where the journey, I look back at it now, right? Like I've only been doing this 5 years, and I say only, like this is probably like the most committed I've ever been to anything in my fucking entire life. Which is, I don't know if that's sad or if that's cool or what the case is, right? But it's like, I like that you said like there's, and I'm sure you can relate. There's just some days where you're just like, if I'm not in it entirely, it's not that it's not worth doing, but it's not giving what you're doing justice if you're not fully into it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, man. You gotta 100%, man. I mean, that commitment though, you said like, that's your thing. You found that thing and you found your that's what's up. Like 5 years is a long time. How many episodes have you done?
As of you and I talking, we have released, I think so today's Monday, we release on Mondays. We've released 343 or 44 at this point.
Bro, good for you, man. That's most people don't do 300 of anything.
No. And like, but it's also one of those things where it's like, like this time last year, maybe even this time, last year, the year before, like I was going through a lot of personal stuff, and anybody that's listened to this knows exactly what I've been through. Because there was a time there where I wasn't shy talking about it, but now for legal reasons and whatnot, I probably shouldn't. But
dude, if you're out rolling on social media today about Kid Rock and Bad Bunny, like I'm sure you say a lot.
Yeah, but like that's also like that's the part of the edge thing, like and honestly, like I reported it as the news, like, hey, this lineup was announced for the Super Bowl halftime show on this other platform, and it's 4 country artists. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just like pretend like it's not fucking happening because somebody might get mad? Like, eat a dick. But yeah, man. But like
tough.
it, and like what I was saying is like I've quit this podcast like 3 different times. And like I would like make an announcement where like, oh, we're taking a break, and then like all the episodes are still being released, and everyone's like, I thought you took a break. I'm like, well, I have all this back catalog. I'm not gonna just sit on it. It's gonna go out. And then it's like I take a few weeks off of doing interviews, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess the break's over. Go back to it like nothing happened. And it's probably why I record so much at a time, so that when I do have these manic episodes and acting like a toddler, like I can stop and still release shit and still come back and nobody notices that I even left.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. Making videos and content stuffs like that. It's like if you don't have it piled up, you're gonna have an off day. You're gonna have I go through spurts of it. I need to stay on it more consistently, but it's like at some point it's like, man, this is like not the way that I want to do it. So we got to figure it out. But I think coming back to stuff is something that people don't do enough of. Like once you set it down, everybody feels like they failed, but it's like, yeah, pick it back up and do it. Like I literally just put this 2 days ago. I did a 45-minute. I just threw this up and talked, kind of shared. I had an epiphany of some stuff with my life, and I just shared it with my, just on Patreon. I didn't put it out on any other streaming or anything. And, there's people on there that are going to listen to it. I had some people who were like, dude, I love this. Do more of this. And it was like, I just needed to share something, and giving yourself permission to like, it doesn't have to be on the cover of Rolling Stone to just do the thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously you found it, man. 300 episodes. I'm impressed. Like I said, I only did like 30. But you guys, you're in that sweet spot, right? Like that's a sweet spot where you've got enough.
You know, and a lot of it, I'm not gonna, a lot of it is ego. You know, like I was told so many times when I first started this that this would never go anywhere. At this point, like I feel like I've beaten something to death, and I'm just gonna keep beating it until like there's nothing left to even see.
Yeah. You'll show them. Take that, internet.
That's right. Well, man, we've been at this an hour and a half at this point, and this is probably one of the longer episodes we've had in a long time. So I appreciate that a lot. Man.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't promoting anything. But everybody else is like, "Hey, this is happening." We're just kind of talking. It's a good way to end the day a little bit here.
But I appreciate you coming back on and hanging out and shooting the shit, and I look forward to doing this again, and hopefully not 3 years from now.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully we'll be still doing this in 3 years. But
yeah, man, for sure.
Don't be a stranger, man.
I do have a single coming out. We just found this out today, so I wasn't planning on to promote it. But we made a live record live at Whiskey City's Liberty Theater in March 6th. So March 4th, we're going to be in Nashville, full band. And then March 6th, my live version of Skinny Pedal on the Right is going to be coming out. So we got a live track that's going to be dropping. So definitely go check that out. Keep an eye out for it, man. Yeah, keep in touch. I'd love to come back on and chat. And this was definitely one of those non-promotey, we were just chatting podcasts. So I think people will dig it. So what's up, everybody?
Yeah, I do too. And like I said, thanks so much for your time. And I hope we will put this out the first week of March, because fuck it, we'll just make it my birthday episode. And
there you go. Happy birthday.
Shit going on that week, so we'll go hand in hand with it.
Pencil me in. That sounds great.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, we'll talk soon, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Right on, man. Thanks. Take care.
Well, there you have it, our conversation with Noah Smith. Again, Noah, thank you so much for taking the time. I apologize that I didn't get out to promote those shows, but, things happen and shit gets in the way, and it's just sometimes this industry is a fucking mess. But anyway, so thanks so much for being here. Thanks to all of you for tuning in and checking it out. Like I said, some really great stuff we talked about. Some really important stuff. So thank you, Noah, for being so cool and so generous with your time. Again, Austin Brown has also come out today. Go check that out. That's a great conversation as well. And we'll see you next week, guys. Cheers.